Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another live episode of Game Time here on the Outlaw Nation channel, and I'm excited to get into it. There's so much we're going to talk about today. We're going to NBA playoffs, the NFL stuff. Roger Goodell grew a conscience. There's all kinds of things we're going to get into. It's going to be a lot of fun today. We even got a special guest. Lil Jay is joining us right there from the middle of Chicago. I am one of your hosts, John Rocha, joined as always by these two incredible gentlemen every Monday to have some fun talking sports. Winston, I'll go to you first. How are you, man? How are things?
I mean, bang, bang. That's all I got to say, yo.
From that blank white boy, nailing that thing. And we're going to get into that in a little bit as well. But Jay Watson, how are you, man?
Man, I need new. So my camera won't fit on my ring light. My camera when I open it. So it would do a whole lot better if it was on my ring light. So I have to have it on my smaller tripod. So that's why I'm in this bitch looking tiny.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys.
Which truth is you've both been losing weight and gaining muscle. So, I mean, you're not really that tiny, bro. Like I see you wear a shirt today that's hiding all your trapezius muscles and shit. Right. So, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I did.
This help? Oh, my God.
I mean, this is like got rid of both of us. Was like, you niggas don't matter.
Like my guy, you don't have a single phone book in the house. You can't. You know how they be doing with little boys be getting their first haircut and they got to put the phone book underneath so that they can sit up and the barber can help them.
Woo! Woo! Styling it for he left it.
He went to go find a phone book.
Oh, that's my God! There's no
I hate you. I will fucking fight you in the street.
Eloquently said.
All I hope. I mean, it's we'll get to Luka. We'll get to the Mavs. All I hope is that you never know. The Clippers are still the number 2 seed. I think we got this. I think we got this series. I think we're a bad matchup for them. We have been pushing them to the limit every game. I just hope, because my Luka jersey is on the way, I hope it gets here in time for me to wear it during one of these games. But if not, you know what? It's okay. I'm chilling. Hey,
look, 9 points ain't going to do it from Paul George. That ain't going to do it to help you win a game or a series. So
you know what this reminds me of? This actually, I love how he turned damn fired on his day off.
That's terrible.
What this honestly reminds me of, bro, this reminds me of when the Mavericks won the title from the Heat. Because everybody was like, okay, y'all got through the Lakers or whatever, but now it's LeBron and Wade and all them. Y'all fucked. And then LeBron was putting up like 8 points, 12 points, dishing the ball out in the fourth quarter when they needed him to be King James. He was acting like a prince, you know what I'm saying? And that allowed Dirk to go get his ring. So right now, if Paul George is going to play the role of LeBron James circa 2011 when we got our title, I'm okay with this shit. We'll keep rolling. But again, we're not talking about this first. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. Where are you, Jay? Where are you? God damn, man. Get back on the screen, for God's sakes. This is why people tune in. But we got the StreamLabs and Super Chats up. And, ladies and gentlemen, please send those in to support the Outlaw Nation, support the gentlemen on the show as well. Like, let's get it going. Send in your questions, send in your Super Chats, send in your StreamLabs. We'll put them up on the screen, the Super Chats at least to talk about, and we'll answer your StreamLabs as we go through this. The StreamLabs address right above, in the middle there, right above where Jay would be, streamlabs.com/John Rocha says, send in your donations, send your words of support, all of that, and we will put it up on the screen. But yes, as Winston is alluding to, our first story today is definitely one that's a pretty strong one. It is from the NFL. It's Roger Goodell. He was doing an interview on a podcast, which is on a new show from former NFL linebacker Emmanuel Acho. It's a video series that he's been doing, not a podcast. Sorry about that, y'all. It's called Uncomfortable Conversations with a Black Man. He started doing this after the George Floyd situation happened, and it was his way to kind of maybe bridge these communities together, maybe find a way to get people to understand a Black point of view, maybe get people to be called out for some of the comments or some of the things they've said in the past and have a chance for them to clarify them, or at least to be educated about another possible way to approach something or another perspective to have on a social issue of the day that has to do with Black men and women in our country and the Black experience, really, in our country.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, I had to just get a whole nother tripod on here.
Yeah, no worries.
It's okay.
Y'all talk
glad you made it back. All right,
hey man, isn't that what the Dozens is really about? Is black people making fun of each other so they become the best them that they can be?
There you
I'm
go,
proud of you, bro. Look at you upgrading.
Oof.
I just got a taller actual tripod.
That's not right. That's not right.
This is my birthday eve, and I will not take this shit.
Birthday eve tomorrow.
No, but that's why we have to do it now. Because then all of a sudden we gotta be like super nice to you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get you now, right now.
Go ahead, and finish what you're saying, Roger.
Anyway, yeah. So he was on there with the gentleman there, with the former NFL linebacker Emmanuel Acho, and Roger Goodell was on there talking to him. And he asked him about the situation with Colin Kaepernick. And, you know, the big thing that Roger Goodell took crap for a few weeks ago was that he never mentioned Colin Kaepernick, never mentioned him by name, didn't talk about Black Lives Matter necessarily as strongly as he should have. There's a lot of that he got dinged with. So he was talking about the remorse about the lack of dialogue with Kaepernick and saying the league would have benefited from conversation. This is his quote. It's an interesting quote. He says, we had invited him in several times to have the conversation, to have the dialogue, Goodell said. I wish we had the benefit of that. We never did, and we would have benefited from that. Absolutely. He also went on to defend the players who are protesting, saying it's not about the flag. These are not people who are unpatriotic. They're not disloyal. They're not against our military. In fact, many of those guys were in the military, and they're a military family. And what they are trying to do, or what they were trying to do, is exercise their right to bring attention to something that needs to get fixed. And that misrepresentation of who they were and what they were doing was the thing that really gnawed at me. And he's saying after the George Floyd stuff happened, he said that's where we should have listened sooner, and that's where we should have been in there with them, understanding and figure out what we can do as the NFL. So, gentlemen, you hear this, we've certainly taken Roger Goodell to task on this show because this ain't Sports Center. We don't owe him a goddamn thing. But, what is your feeling about him saying what he said here? Does this feel like PR work? Does this feel like he's trying to put the blame in an indirect way on Kaepernick? What do you guys think about his comments? Or do you buy them as genuine, that he didn't know and now he's been schooled and educated and he's ready to go forward? Winston?
I mean, let me ask you a question as far as this potentially being a load of BS or PR stuff. I mean, is fat meat greasy? You know what I'm saying? Like
fat, mean, greasy. Good question.
Fat, mean, greasy. Yes. Yes.
Avocados are not greasy, but they're fattening. So
don't worry about it. I know what you mean.
He knows what I mean. It's an old Southern black term, and it's being like if it water wet. Water wet. If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck. The point is that Goodell is saying what he has to say at this point. It has been made very clear by everything that happened in the protests. And the corner we've kind of turned right now, which we still have a long way to go, but at least now it seems like there has been a slight shift. He is realizing he has to say this.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it comes down to. Now, for me, it's going to take way more than empty words for me to be like, I think Goodell understands. I'm going to need to see some legitimate action from him in the NFL and on a consistent basis, not a one-time thing that they do certain stuff and then all of a sudden, hey, we fixed racism. Because that's that same bullshit that people were like, we voted in a black man to be president. Racism's over. Okay, sure. Awesome. So it's one of those weird things that, like, I'm not even Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here being like, shoulda, woulda, coulda, motherfucker. Like, it's a little late on this. And I have to applaud. I went to grade school with the Acho brothers, Sam and Emmanuel. And like, I'm sure they don't remember me because it's been forever. Right. But I do give Emmanuel so much credit. I mean, both of them do a lot of really good work, but I give Emmanuel so much credit for deciding to do something like this.
Yeah.
Had on a number of people. He had on Matthew McConaughey in his second episode. He's interviewed a number of people. I think this is you're literally taking someone that has that platform. You have a number of people that watch football and know Emmanuel because of football, because of ESPN, etc. They're listening because it's someone been in the ear. It's the same reason why we've said before, as far as like dealing with LGBTQ rights in sports, for example, the minute a superstar comes out, is the day that all of a sudden a lot of people are going to also turn the corner. It's sad that we shouldn't already do that as is, but we know how the human psyche works. Until you have something to anchor somebody to it, it is what it is. So I applaud Emmanuel for forcing Goodell's. I don't know if he forced Goodell's hand, but like having him on to have him really say this. But like I said before, until I see some substantial action, it's empty words at this particular juncture.
Yeah, what do you think, Jay?
Say that opening line of his statement one more time.
Yeah, hold on. Let me bring it up again. He said, we had invited him in several times to have the conversation, to have the dialogue. I wish we had benefit of that. We never did. And
there you go. Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
He literally tried to shift blame real quick. He tried to shift blame out the fucking gate.
Yep.
That's why once you started reading it, I couldn't get past what I heard in that first set of lines.
Yeah.
We wish we'd have had the benefit. You should have gave me the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we tried to have the dialogue after everybody finally kept railroading your ass. You all of a sudden now want to have it after it made so many ways for so many years. Not even in the beginning you wanted to have it. Like Winston just said, this is Goodell trying to save face because the league is going to happen because it just came back. They're tested positive. So we're getting football this season, unfortunately. Yeah. Just call it what it is. We're getting it. Jerry Jones has already said Dallas Cowboys Stadium is opening with people, playing as people. It's happening. This is Goodell trying to save face going into the league. This is all this is because he knows no matter what, on the heels of COVID-19, the Black Lives Matter movement, Colin Kaepernick, whether he wants to play in the league or not, are all still going to be prime subjects, no matter who running, who scoring, who making highlight plays. He know it. So he's trying to save face and save ass. He can miss. I ain't in the league, unfortunately, so it doesn't affect me directly. But I am a black man, and it does affect me directly. So he can miss me with that bullshit.
Yeah, that's the thing at the end of the day. You can't walk into this league anymore and think, oh, these are good black men who are just going to do what we tell them to do because they're so dependent on these paychecks. No, they're the black man coming into the league now is more intelligent, more socially aware, more on top of things, and is more willing to make a stand and make a protest and fight back and push back at the risk of public derision, at the risk of people yelling things at them from the stands, at the risk of their own owners claiming they are inmates trying to take over the asylum. Those kinds of things they are willing to confront because they know this issue is huge and needs to be talked about. I agree with you, Jay. That opening line, listen, if you're smart enough and you analyze things enough, you know exactly when spin is happening, and that is exactly what that is when he says, we invited him in. No. You guys blackballed him, which it was proven in the court case, and that's why he settled. You guys turned him into a pariah. You guys let him be twisted and turned the narrative to make it seem as if he was against police people, against God, against the military, against all this kind of stuff. You gleefully sat back and let it happen and didn't say one word to stop people from getting that impression. And your
not to mention. Yeah. Let me say this one quick thing. He will not even take personal accountability. He will never say I.
He'll say we.
He will never say I.
Right.
You are the commissioner of the fucking league.
Exactly. And this idea that we invited him in, there's a grandiose, a cockiness to that. Instead of you going to Colin as the wronged person, you could have gone to him. That's how you say this thing. We tried to get in touch with him. We tried to go visit him. We tried to go have this conversation with him. We invited him and he turned us down. He does not have to come hat in hand to you. You wronged him. Therefore, you have to make the effort to make it right. I mean, sit back in your chair and wait for him to come to you.
I mean, to that point, you want to talk about hollow words. Remember when they quote unquote wanted to give him a tryout, but it was under the stipulation you come to our facility, which makes sense. The NFL has facilities, but you're going to sign this contract. You can't talk to the press. You can't do this. You can't do that. Trying to once again can put him on, for a lack of a better word, on a leash to try and muzzle him. And he was like, I refuse to do that. So based off of that, I'm going to go do it at this facility. If y'all genuinely are serious about this, because I want to be able to hold my own press conference and do whatever. I'm not falling for your trap. Right. They said we'll pass, and here we are yet again. So again, show me. Stop telling me. Show me.
There's also coded words here, right, Jay Winston? When his second part of his response, when he said, these are not people who are unpatriotic. There is a distance he's putting between them. He's not saying our players. He's not saying our players are not. He's saying, though, these are not people who are unpatriotic. It's distance language. It's distance language, and saying they're not disloyal. They're not against our military. Right? Reminds me of Tropic Thunder, where he's like, what do you mean, you people? It's that difference, right? With separation. And he says, in fact, many of those guys were in the military, and they're a military family. What they were trying to do is it's like they're right. And that's the thing at the end of the day, is he's making them a separate entity. He's not claiming connection or kinship. And that's important. And that is through a PR spin. That's how he's doing it. So he has some way of kind of subconsciously, for the people who are, huge red state people, keeping them at a distance, so he can say to them, he can still appeal to those red state people with his rhetoric. So I find that to be so fascinating. This idea that he should have listened sooner, that's all saving face, and that's where we should have been there with him, understanding and figuring it out. Everybody figured it out. Everybody saw what was happening. There was not some kind of new, complex, interesting, unheard of thing that these players were doing. They were simply kneeling to protest police brutality, which we have seen en masse for decades in this country. Don't tell me that a man of intelligence and accomplishment and knowledge needs to be walked by the nose to the water to drink it. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I there's a lot there. I mean, I don't need to give him a pass because, like I said, I'm over his bullshit. The only thing I might give him for if he was using that language in particular, since he's on uncomfortable conversations with a black man, he might not be trying to put himself in that. But I would still argue what you said, and I think that that's more accurate on like apropos is the fact that he's like, yo, like he is using that distancing language. That would be the only thing I could potentially see maybe, but I think you're more on the nose with it being that it's distancing language.
It's just the thing. And he never says our players, because he usually talks about, when he's talking public statements about something positive that the NFL players have done, it's always our players are really stepping forward. Our players are down there in New Orleans helping people through Katrina. Our players. Here it's they. And that's really important to look at. It's like the apology by that guy who said that derogatory word against homosexuals, Tom Brenneman. His apology was an absolute disgrace on him.
It literally happened right off week after we got off air Wednesday.
That was something.
I composed an 8-tweet thread, and I was like, I can't.
I hate his apology.
I hate his apology. Crap. Yeah,
I hate it. The only thing about this that is so crazy, like ironic, is that as he's giving his apology, right, homeboy hits a home run.
Yeah,
the ball goes into the judgment-free zone. He happened to hit his home run into the judgment-free zone.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, you can't write this. You honestly cannot write this right now. But like, oof.
Yeah. His apology was about trying to get a new job. His apology was trying to make himself the victim of the situation. As soon as he said, I guess it had gone over the air, that's his passive-aggressive way of going after whoever was manning the audio of that day to put it out there. And then him saying, I don't know if I'll wear a headset again here or wherever it'll be. He's basically saying, I'm going to be available, so come get me if you want me. And then telling people they should defend him for the good person he was in the past. It's like, what the crap? It's mind-blowing to me, the crap that people get into, man. It's really insane.
The other thing that drives me crazy and doesn't make sense, I'm of the mindset that, like, if you're in trouble, just be in trouble.
Yeah.
Apologize and just sit in it and be in trouble.
Right.
If he wants to go away for a while and actually do something to improve his character and show that he's a better person, you want to try and make a comeback years from now because you've proven that you're not genuinely that person anymore, fine.
Right.
Why the fuck are you doing that in the middle of an apology? Because then that means that you're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught.
Exactly. And that's what that apology is.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you go away and do the work on yourself and come back and you're like, I was a bad person, I'm not that person anymore, and you prove it, awesome.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in the middle of an apology, you are not apologizing.
Let's just call it for what he right. We know that. Anytime every racist that's been called out in the past 9 months, all these bullshit. That's not in my heart. That's not what I meant. I have black friends. I work with black people. You're a fucking liar. You're a racist, and you're a liar. when you say homophobic stuff like that, that's something you say on a regular.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
regular.
Casually, you say that on the regular.
It also wasn't in a broadcast. He clearly was talking to someone, meaning that's his regular fucking
right. He thought he was still off before the mics went hot.
Right. He was swinging his dick around, feeling himself in a way in that moment because he's like, no one's going to touch me, man. I can say whatever I want. And then says that, got caught, and he's trying to put his tail between his legs, but his arrogant belief in himself wouldn't let him put that tail fully between his legs. So he tried to play it off and tried to make himself the victim of the situation. And he never mentioned homosexual people. He said to anyone I've offended, instead of saying, I am sorry for the terrible thing I just said. Then he fell back on Christianity or his religion or whatever and said, that's not who I really am. All that is horseshit, man. And it is so see-through. And I'm glad that people called him out. I'm glad Fox said, you're not calling any NFL games this season. That's pretty strong. And we'll see where he ends up. Because there's no way the Cincinnati Reds need to bring him back. That's for damn sure. All right. Let's see here. Who put it? We got a couple of these that rolled through here. Of course, Scott Johnson said, all I have to say is the WWE is trash. Wow. First, the shit on Kofi with that 30-second title loss. Now the perpetuation of Sasha losing another title under 50 days. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
SummerSlam? Yeah. Basically, spoiler alert, they had Sasha drop to Asuka. But there's so here's the thing with that real quick.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks, for those who don't know, is one of the prominent women of color within the WWE. There is this stigma that has been going around, and it is proven that she can never retain her title.
They don't let her retain her title.
They don't let her. Right.
They don't let her.
They don't. Let me say right. No, she can't. They don't let her retain her title when she has it booked in a big match. Yeah. It never fails. She's booked. She's going to lose somehow, some way. And it's getting upsetting because now you have Sasha Banks followed by the shit with Naomi. We know Ember Moon is still on the shelf rehabbing an injury. Right. You barely using Nia Jax. Tamina is used sparingly because she's always known that's been her job.
Yeah.
Again, I hate to say this. Yes, Vince will push some black talent. When it comes to Kofi Kingston, he never believed in Kofi's run before it started. An article just came out that he never believed in Kofi's run. He didn't do it because he wanted to do it, giving Kofi the WWE title. He did it because you cheered for it. If you wouldn't have made no noise during that match at SmackDown, he would have never had that opportunity. Yeah. And by you, I mean all fans that watch. Vince McMahon is going to be Vince McMahon, no matter what.
No matter what. You don't catch him. You won't catch him on a podcast going, I should have listened earlier. It's my
You don't care. Yeah, I am surprised from the bottom of my heart. He has not said anything to the New Day.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Every match now they take the knee, raise the fist, and have an armband on with the name of somebody who was unjustly killed.
Yeah.
I am surprised. But then again, he's not only shitting on her, and I'm talking about Sasha, had shit on Kofi, he's shitting on my boy Mustafa Ali again.
Yeah,
you bring somebody up who's supposed to be this top tier talent you set to push, but Vince McMahon has always had this thing with Muslim American talent, how he views them. Again, Muhammad Hassan wasn't even Muslim, he's Italian. Yeah. So that's my thought on that.
Oh, fair enough. I appreciate that, Jay. Corey Scott said another one. He said they don't support their black talent. He's talking about the WWE, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. They just put all three black dudes on Raw together. Well, they got to put them all together damn near. You got Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP, the older black dudes. Now, if you're using this to help push the newer generation, fine. But you got them going against the other three black dudes.
Yeah.
You got Alexander Ricochet and Apollo Crews. Anybody want to tell me the sense in that? Not to mention, they made the Japanese dude be a fucking ninja now.
Yeah, he's a ninja. I know. In 2020. All right, two StreamLabs here.
When you get a chance, Mr. Winston A. Marshall, please go Google Akira Tozawa, and you will see him now currently as a ninja.
Yeah.
And a stereotypical ninja.
A ninja. In 2020, a ninja. Tushka Regressions donated. He said, I tried asking this on Geek Buddies, but is that Colin Farrell as the Penguin or Bill Belichick starting his acting career since the Pats are done?
Jesus Christ.
Wait, this motherfucker's an actual ninja? No. Like not just like doing particular martial arts poses. They actually dressed him like a ninja.
Yes,
bro.
Yeah.
And to make his group of ninjas, they added trainees and developmental talent, and a 7'4" black dude they brought from overseas.
Is a black dude.
Wait. So like on the side, while everybody else is wearing masks because of COVID, they're all wearing masks and dressed like ninjas.
Yep.
What am I watching? This is oh my God, he just did a ninja kick. Why?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet black baby Jesus. This wasn't his idea. This was Vince.
No, of course not.
Oh yeah, and they're bringing another big black dude up, Keith Lee. They bringing him up to Raw because Vince McMahon is high on him. But here's the problem: the person that he wanted Keith Lee to go against is on the other show.
Yeah.
Are they fully separated at this point?
Who?
Raw and SmackDown?
Yeah, it's been for many years, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's no basketball, because there's no events, the WWE got it sweet. Because there's no events, they get to use the Amway Center all the fucking time.
Right. They basically set up camp there to do their thing.
I knew there was like a Raw versus SmackDown. I didn't know that they really treat them as separate entities. Oh, okay. Absolutely. I didn't know that.
Absolutely. We got over 124 of y'all watching us live. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up button down there and give it some love. Also, keep sending in your StreamLabs super chats. We're 30 minutes in, a little bit light. Come on, send in some support for the show, for the nation, for these two gentlemen here. Give us some love. Ask us some questions. And nothing's out of bounds. We always go in strange and interesting directions on this show. So come on and give us some love. All right, let's move on to the NBA playoffs, man. We got to talk about this madness, and we'll circle back to the NFL a little bit later on. I mean, there's no other place to start with than Luka Doncic. I mean, this has been the ascension of a star. Watching it in the playoffs, what he's done against these Mavericks, against these Clippers, has been incredible. Yeah, he's led them back both times to win both of these last two games. He scored 41 points, I think, last night when he hit that 3-pointer to win the game. It was the first time that a player in the playoffs has come back, scored 40 points, and hit the game winner since Michael Jordan did it against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Craig Elo shot. That's the last time a playoff player has ever done that. And they were down by a lot. I think it was 21 against the Clippers, came storming back. Winston, you're a Mavericks fan. This is so fascinating to watch. I mean, you didn't even get a chance to miss Dirk. Here comes Luka, for God's sakes.
I'll tell you something, man. I've been the biggest Dirk fan since I can remember. Obviously, he brought the Mavericks into relevancy. I remember thinking to myself growing up all the time and watching Kobe Bryant, you know what I'm saying? And then watching LeBron James just being like, fuck, man. Dirk is one of the GOATs, but like what I would give for just a generational talent. Like to just once have a team where I feel like I have a generational talent on the squad.
Yeah.
And to watch his rise and people put some respect on this man's name, including, and this was what makes me even happier, after rewatching The Last Dance recently and all of those memes about like, you didn't say hi to me at the pizza shop, man, I'm about to drop 50 on your ass. I literally felt after what I don't even remember old boy's fucking name on the Clippers being like, you punk ass white boy.
Oh yeah,
like
Montrezl Harrell. Yeah,
thank you. I literally was thinking to myself, oh, you call me a punk ass white boy? I'm about to drop 50 on your ass. 43 works and a game winner.
Can we tie that discussion into this too? Go ahead. Yeah. Can we tie that discussion into this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we have to because like that's the whole thing. The people that are immediately going like, oh, the racism, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't necessarily equate that to this because he wasn't, I don't equate it because he wasn't out here being like, you crack ass cracker, saying stuff that is supposed to be pointed specifically in the same way that like, if someone were like, if you were on the football field and Riley Cooper's calling somebody the N-word, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same pointed type of language. And if you listen to people play basketball, I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you Chris Paul would square up with Steph Curry and be like, look, little nigga, I'm about to strip this ball from your ass. I'm going to dunk on you, and then I'm going to go talk to Aisha. Like, this is the shit talk that they talk. So I didn't take it as this is racist and he's coming after Luka. I'm taking it as he's just not putting respect on the man's name. And Luka said, I got you. And then it was like, and now you go say it, Doncic, bitch. And then he fucking just like is out here like, So like, That's all I'm saying. This was a phenomenal moment because, like, if he didn't already announce who he was, he's on notice. And what a lot of people are saying is, like, why isn't their best defender Kawhi Leonard on him? Why did they switch? How do you not know that Kawhi is gonna that Luka's gonna take the shot? Where I give Kawhi's response a little bit of credit, and maybe I'm just standing a little bit. He's like, here's the thing: they're a team of shooters. You got Steph's brother Seth over here. You got Tim Hardaway. You have all these cats that can make that shot. So everybody just had to step up. Maybe I should have been over there, but like everybody could have done that. It's just that their best player got it and hit it. That's where I'm kind of like, maybe you still should have stayed on the best player and let one of your other teammates try and handle one of the other killers. But boy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what Winston said about Riley from Riley Freeman being on the court, telling some, you bitch ass niggas. Hey, for him, Montez Harris saying bitch ass white boy to Luka Doncic, you have never been. If that offended you, you have never. Ask a white boy who plays on the court, on the street ball. Ask one who played in the gym. Rex Chapman even was like, "Yo, you've never played basketball at a high level." When
I literally have that tweet up. It says, "If you haven't," from Rex Chapman, who's bald more than anybody watching this show, and more than Montrezl Harrell. He said, if you haven't been called a bitch-ass white boy in a basketball game, you probably haven't played in a high-level basketball game. And I think that says it all.
I completely agree, and especially from the standpoint that, like, do you know how many times it was said that the same shit was said to Larry Bird?
Yeah.
Larry Bird just put it in your eye? Like
Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman tried to say that shit in the playoffs. They're like, "Oh, if he was black, he'd be just another good player." It's like, you all are fucking insane, man. You know, it's just that kind of thing. But white people get that in the game of basketball. You know, that's the game. You know,
real talk.
Like Eminem 8 Mile. Like, what do y'all think?
Thank you. Eminem had to literally go, fine, I'm gonna be rabbit, everybody. You're exactly right, Jay. That was the argument I was gonna do. It's the one thing about the Schmodown that I hate is that we can't swear. Because if I could genuinely play the dozens with some motherfuckers, I would break people and then they would lose matches. And I'm sure you would too, honestly. I know that you still go in, but you have to hold back a little bit. I know Jay must have been dying. Like he was like right up at the edge and knew that he had to stop because of the baby.
Well, you know what? I can't say what I need to say.
If they let us have, like WWE has that underground, if they let us have street Schmodown, shoot. Good night. 11 p.m. matches. I mean, you and Shannon, the three of us and Shannon would set it on fire and burn it.
Oh my God, Shannon would burn that bitch down.
Yeah.
I mean, Kaiser would too. Like, there's a number of people.
Oh yeah, Kaiser too. Yeah.
You, Jay, myself, Shannon, Kaiser, like all the people that are quote unquote the greats right now. So like the Bibs of the world might be in trouble because like there would be no filter. I would just go and it would be a bad day for everything. But I know what it is, so I just kind of back up and I'm just chill.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm just gotta.
When I played on the street in DC and I played in Virginia, like I played for like good 10 years. We're all in the military together. Two white guys would come and play with me. Brian Benson, David Anderson. Dave was a point guard. Brian was power forward. I was just Rodman. I just rebounded their shots. It was great. And then occasionally got a layup or two. But you hear that all the time. That's the game. Bitch ass white boy is nothing compared to what you actually hear on a real. That's NBA insult. It's like a professional insult.
Jay, you know what that is right there? You remember how in the beginning when we were doing alpha, where it was like, all right, first let's do high knees. Okay, now jacks. Now double jacks. That's light work. Now it's time to go burpee front kick into burpee ski abs into burpee fucking, you know what I'm saying? Light work.
Let me tell you something. Right. Let me tell you something. If you mad at bitch ass white boy, be glad the mics aren't hot down there 24/7.
Did you not see when they did the preseason game and they realized they had to turn the mics down a little bit because quick? Bro, it was Carmelo Anthony, and like the ball went up. He goes, "Move, motherfucker! I got this, nigga!" And he went for the rebound, and I was like, "Oh no, you can't do this. They gotta filter that. They gotta filter that crowd noise in because this gonna go bad."
So can hear this. They can hear it. Like people get mad at the wrong shit. Oh, it's a double standard. Look, I'm telling you, the way people ball in the only difference between street ball and the NBA is you got on team uniforms and you are getting paid a lot of money. They ball the same way. If you ever thought that was imagine how them scrimmages go when it's all these players during that offseason, they just get together and ball.
Right.
Like they talk. These are street cats.
I know. And Jason Williams coming out with that too. I don't know what you were thinking, Trez. That bullshit. And you can miss me on that. You didn't even play a day in the league. You got busted up your leg. Get on out of here with that crap. This is real ball, and the reason the insults are flowing are because Luka is playing so well. He wouldn't call a third string white boy bitch ass white boy. It's because he can really ball.
Hold on. Do y'all know the kind of bullshit? Like I said, I've been carrying this weight since like 3rd, 4th grade. Do you remember when we were in 7th, 8th, 9th grade when I was playing ball? That'd be like, oh shit, I didn't know a basketball could shoot itself. Like niggas would say horrible fucking things to people. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm not like miss me with that.
Yeah.
Now it would be one thing. If this is a situation where that's happening and Luka's trash, like if he's like really, really bad, and I got caught, then it's kind of like but you know who you take shots at? You take shots at people you're scared of.
Of course,
because you're attempting to throw.
I feel better next to y'all now.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I got it.
Well, I mean, you were watching I rewatched Last Dance the other day, like the entire. I think watch the whole thing from top to bottom again because I just love that damn documentary. Jordan is cussing his face off through the whole thing, and they said because he came up in the era of trash talking. Bird apparently was the greatest one of the top 5 trash talkers ever, and Jordan right behind him. So you that's the game, man. So to put the real world method of communication expectations on a basketball game is ridiculous because it's passionate. It's
John, you're forgetting the most important part, guys.
Sorry, what am I missing?
There are kids watching this.
Oh yeah, right.
There are kids.
This?
I'm talking about just this and the game.
I sure hope not this.
Because that's the excuse people try to use when they say that language. They're like, oh, but the kids like, yo, these are grown men.
Yeah.
It's a grown man.
Also, there's a reason you have turned the mics off on the floor as much as possible for that exact reason. Like, don't do that. Don't do that at all.
You didn't even really hear Montez Harris. You just saw his lips go. You saw his mouth go.
That's what he said. And then they made a huge deal out of it because Jason, like I said, Jason Williams came and said, I'm no lip reader, but Trez. And then Barkley came out and said, Barkley of all people came out and said it was a double standard. I'm like, Barkley, you throw motherfuckers through a plate glass window. You're elbowing Nigerians on the dream team, and you're going to come and talk crap about this. You know talk worse than that on the court. You know Barkley talk worse than that on the court.
I know, I'm saying, right. You can't sit there and act, and Barkley can't act holier than thou. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like how Shaq was like, it is what it is, basically. Shaq was like, that's what happens. Because you got to be real about these situations, man. Stop trying to make everything a double standard or make something overtly racial when it's not. Because I've heard white boys who can ball like, I got your dark ass now after been talk shit too. Yeah. After been talk shit too. So also, it's not racial. It's that I'm going to jab one back at you.
Yeah.
Also, white boy has become like kind of a colloquial, just what you like, who's that? Who's the white boy? That's not even necessarily like a fucking diss. It's just who's the white boy. You know what I'm saying?
White man can't jump.
Bitch ass in a day.
Winston, who is that human being with the fluorescent skin color that you are addressing?
The translucent skin color.
The translucent person.
Also, but you missed my last part. I was like, you know how many times a day I call Jay a bitch ass? So like, what? like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jay, you know this all day. We just sit here and be like, oh
yeah, this is true. This is true. I told Winston earlier yesterday. It was yesterday. Today. I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know before you say anything else, from henceforth and forevermore, I'm gonna call you the nipple later. So I was like, bitch, I will kill you. Like anything.
Exactly. I was just like, you gotta shut your bitch ass up. I ain't got time for this.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just that whole thing is silly to me because again, white boy is not. It is not on par with racial slurs that are actually used for like full-blown bigotry and dehumanizing and all that other. Like, miss me with that. Miss me with that a million times over.
Yeah,
bullshit.
And also, you can't say a double standard exists when you haven't even achieved equality in your own society between races. You can't expect one race to act as if it is equal and therefore monitor their language in a situation. That bitch ass white boy thing means nothing. And yes, and white people are still the predominant race in this country, still the predominant financial, race in this country, or people in charge of them. That's the situation. So a black man calling a Luka Doncic, who's not even American, I don't think, calling him a white boy. So yeah, Luka Doncic is a foreigner. Calling him a bitch ass white boy, it doesn't even carry the same weight as if it was an American man calling an American white man this thing with the history of our country. And him referencing Black Lives Matter. But listen, I know I probably have no place to tell Jason Williams what he can say. He's a black man in this country. His experience is his experience. But him coming out like this, to me, is shock, because those motherfuckers talk shit at Duke. You fucking know they talk.
What did Jason Williams say? I didn't even watch his response to it.
It was honestly a 2-minute response. Like, this needed a 2-minute response. And he just basically said, like, he was really disappointed in Trez, and that at this time in our country's history right now, when things are so sensitive and the Black Lives Matter movement, that if Luka had called you a version of that in reverse, it would have, people would have descended on Luka immediately and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing in any way, shape, or form.
It's just, I want to read to make something.
Yeah. I mean, because the other thing about it, and I think that's where people's taking that shit out of context. Like, first of all, if you call any sort of black man a boy, that's something that slave masters literally used to do to demasculinize and like infantize, like, make black men, you know what I'm saying, sub than what they are. That's the first thing. Calling someone a white boy doesn't necessarily do that. And second of all, there's never been like a situation where, again, you say the word black, that could literally be a death sentence depending on how you're saying it, what context, etc. It's never happened with white people like that. Maybe in isolated instances, but not on like a systemic fucking scale. It's just not, they're not equal. Right. And again, we're acting like this isn't something that has happened in the league for a while, and everybody, like, I guarantee you go ask god damn it, what was his name that was on the Mavs? He was with Memphis before, or Memphis after the white dude. God damn it, what is his name?
I don't remember.
Maria? Oh no, because he's Puerto Rican. JJ Barea.
It was within the last like 5 to 6 years.
Have to be JJ Barea you're talking
not
about.
Barea. No, not Barea. It was no, it's all good. You don't have to apologize. It was he was tall, because he was tall. He was a shooting guard.
Sean Bradley?
No. You want to talk about bitch ass white boys?
I secretly believe that Sean Bradley was the guy that all the black basketball players talked about behind the scenes. Said, you ain't anybody until you jam on Sean Bradley. If you don't jam on Sean Bradley, don't come back to our poker games. Don't come hang out with us. I believe that that's the truth. I saw so many basketball players who would go out of their way to dunk on Sean Bradley when he was in the league. So
Chandler Parsons. That's who it is, probably.
Oh, Chandler Parsons.
Super Dan said it.
I bet you fast Chandler. Like, you know how many times I got to
Matter of fact, if you go back to the Last Dance, think about what Kyle Korver and all them had to go through. Not Kyle Korver,
John Paxson and
John Paxson and all them had to go through.
Yeah.
I'm sure
like white boy.
And Steve Kerr got called out till he swung on Jordan.
Yeah.
And my last part about that too, my like just in that regard, I think the last thing, correct me if I'm wrong, has Luka come out and say he was offended by it?
No, they squashed it. And Luka said, I don't know why Montrez even apologized to me. It was no big deal. It's a game. It's heated.
That is my point. That is my final point.
Right.
If Luka's like, yo, honestly, that kind of like calling me a white boy like that, like I feel offended for XYZ. In the same breath, I'm all about keeping the same energy. In the same way, I'm like, hey, don't call me boy for this, that, and whatever reason. Yeah. If that's where he comes out and says that, I respect it. You back the fuck off. It is what it is.
Right.
But Luka isn't even bent out of shape about it. So why is everybody else?
Because people need that. People need something to talk about. Doncic said, no worries. Quote, there's a lot of emotions on the court, especially this is the playoffs. Sometimes you say things you don't want to say. He apologized. I respect that. So no problems. Done and done. You know who should apologize to Luka Doncic and their fan base are the Suns and the Kings for passing on him, for God's sake.
No. I'm so grateful they did. And to be honest with you, because like who else was in that draft, if I remember correctly? The only team I think that should really apologize is the Hawks, because remember they decided to go after Trae Young. I'm not saying Trae Young isn't going to be a superstar one day,
right?
And he already is proven to be one. But if you're really trying to compare the two, because someone tried to make the argument last year, Trae did horrible in the first half of their rookie year, and then kind of went off and almost closed the gap in their points and shit in half a season. But I was just like, but it essentially sounds like you had to like figure it out. Whereas Luka came in and we started yamming on folks. So like,
Well, I got to ask you this though, Winston, because let's move away from the mantras. I think we've settled that one. Let's move away to what the Mavericks and Clippers series is shaping out to be. Once again, you've got this situation where you've got a team with a lot of pressure on it to reach the finals, to win the chip. The reason Paul George and Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers under Doc Rivers' stewardship was to get to that title again and win another championship for Kawhi Leonard, the first one for Paul George, the second one for Doc Rivers. But the Mavericks in these last two games have really shown what they can do. And this game 4, this was without Porzingis, who was scratched because of knee soreness. And Doncic had 43 points, 17 rebounds and 13 assists, and then hit that 3-pointer. So do you sense that these Mavericks are going to pull an upset here and knock these Clippers out? Will they go 4 straight? Not sweep, obviously, because the Clippers have won a couple. But would they essentially go in a sweep here and take the next 2 games and knock them out?
I mean, I was saying that the Clippers were in trouble. I mean, I already was standing one way, obviously, beforehand.
Yeah.
But game 1 was enough to kind of solidify that. Even though the Clippers won, they barely won.
Yeah.
And Luka had 16 turnovers, if I remember correctly.
Right.
That's not going to happen every fucking game. So if all of a sudden those turnover issues go out of the way, and then like you said, they were down. Like I unfortunately only got to watch the last like 3 or 4 minutes of OT.
Yeah.
I was out yesterday, and so I only got to watch that part of it. So I got to see the shot, and I got to freak out about it. But like, if you can surge back from 21 like that against supposedly the second or third best team in the league right now, what the fuck you think gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Like this is, whew. And I think the other thing that has to happen, I respect the fuck out of Doc Rivers. I think he's one of the greatest coaches to ever do it, bro. But y'all got to put the same respect on my boy Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle,
bro. He is also a championship-winning coach, and he has constantly gotten us surging through the playoffs and whatnot, doing as much as we have been with so little, and then let alone when you actually give him weapons. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, what do you think, Jay? Do you think Mavericks are going to take this? Do you think Clippers are going to fight back in this series?
Pandemic P.
What's that?
PG-13 right here, boy. Paul George don't want to show up, so it's him and Kawhi that they banking everything on with the Clippers. Kawhi doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, Kawhi's doing his thing.
Job. Yeah. Kawhi is doing what he's supposed to do. Paul George somewhere like, man, I probably should have opted out. Like instead of embarrassing myself, I would have rather him opted out instead of embarrassed because that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
you're not playing at this level. Everybody is expecting you're supposed to be able to play it. Like you said, Winston, one of the best teams in the league before the whole thing happened.
Yeah,
and now we come into this because LeBron tried to make that excuse of the time off and blah 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 blah. No. Y'all got y'all wheels back under y'all. Let's go.
Do me a favor, Rocha. Put up Dang MQ's comment right there, the 2011 NBA playoffs one, because this is some real shit. Do you know how many I was living here, I was out here, I already graduated college. How many Laker fans are in my face? We just won 2 chips back to back. You know, we're gonna sweep the hell out y'all, Mavericks, and we swept the Lakers.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close.
I remember that.
We swept the Lakers on our road to the championship. Now, I'm not saying that we've automatically won it all. I think that there are a lot of dangerous teams you have to get through. You got to take it series by series.
Yeah.
You can't, but like the way we're playing right now, I think we can wrap this series up, bro. Like it's not over. You got to play the games, but you want to talk about the greatest odds of an upset happening. Yeah. We are it. Period.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. George's DJ PYBK says George is staying PG-13 because they getting rated R. Let's see. Paul George thinking, damn, if only Roy Hibbert's girlfriend was here. I didn't know.
Oh, but someone said it earlier that Seth apparently called Paul George a bitch ass N-word because remember Paul George was with Doc Rivers' daughter and cheated.
Yeah.
Yo, Peter, do you think about that? If you get called out by Seth Rivers, Seth Curry calls you out, and who he was balling on them on top of it, Seth Curry. Everybody always talk about his brother, but Seth out here I got you, bitches.
That's true. We had a super chat come through. We should move on here real quick. Daniel Haygood, Donovan Mitchell is playing better than anyone right now. Mitchell, last year he had that sophomore slump a little bit to start the season, then picked it back up, got the Jazz in the playoffs. They did get knocked out eventually. But these Jazz now have hung 3 victories on these Nuggets in the playoffs. They're 3-1 right now on the Nuggets. They could knock out the Nuggets, the number 2 or 3 team in the West, and the number 2 team last year that went to the conference final.
It would have to be 3 because
they're third. Yeah, because Clippers are second, Lakers first. But still, this Nuggets team was supposed to do some damage in these playoffs and really push the Lakers and Clippers. They were constructed to do that. But here goes Donovan Mitchell. What do you have, 51 points the other night again? It's insane what he's doing carrying this team. What do you guys think?
Right on here? The Jazz ain't no hoe.
Yeah.
There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch what the Jazz are doing under Mitchell and what he's how he's motivating that team and bringing them along. He had what do you have? Yeah, he dropped 51 points in their game against the Nuggets, and now they're up 3-1. They play tomorrow, I think, to wrap this thing. They could absolutely wrap this thing up. And Mavericks and Clippers tomorrow as well at 6. So I think that's going to be. That's going to be swinging the series. I think whoever wins tomorrow, I think swings that series 1,000% with the Clippers and the Mavericks. Yo,
I have a question.
Yes.
Remember right before the talk about the season continuing with the bubble and everything?
Yeah.
People kept saying that, this is going to be a distraction from everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Has it been a distraction? Not at all.
Yeah.
Because the conversations still go. I wanted to bring it up because I noticed that we don't talk much about it when it comes to the NBA. We talk about it in general as an overarching conversation. But the conversation, everybody thought because the league was going to happen, the discussion on Black Lives Matter and, the change for social justice and all that would die down because it would be a distraction. That hasn't been the case at all.
Yeah.
At all. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out.
That's fair, dude. Absolutely. And let's hit some Streamlabs that have come through. We'll move on to the Lakers and what LeBron is doing there. Steph Curry burner said, y'all be laughing at us now. Just wait until we finesse that trash Sixers organization into trading Ben Simmons to us. Woo. Well, Joel Embiid said he's got to think about his future after they got swept out by the Celtics. Simmons went home early with an injury, and now today, as Haskell is yelling in the chat, Brett Brown was fired as coach of the Sixers. That was coming. He's been there for 7 years, trying to make it happen. Yo,
hey, trust the process. All right.
How long is this damn process?
I'm just saying. Look, by association. It's the city of Philly, which means that they are Eagles fans as well. Typically, the petty rings through all the way across the board.
Hey,
process.
Trust the process.
TTP, everybody. Christian, thanks for cleaning. Yeah, you're right. The Blazers went, but the Nuggets were there in the semis, so you expect them to do better than what they're doing now against the Jazz in the first round. So it's tough to watch. But we got. Oh yeah, so let's keep going through these. Sorry about that. All right, Christian Alante says, so I get that the Sixers organization is in disarray, but I hate how the media only covered how much the Sixers sucked instead of giving props to how much better Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have gotten. Celtics and Raptors will be a great series. I agree. That's going to be fantastic. The Raptors and the Celtics. No one expected the Raptors to do as well as they're doing this year. And Nick Nurse being named Coach of the Year by the NBA, pretty surprising. He was the assistant there, got into this position. Fantastic work by him bringing that team along. Although Lowry left the game that they just won with a ankle sprain, so we'll see what condition he is in. But the Celtics just quietly humming along, not making a lot of noise. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum doing their thing. Kemba Walker doing his thing. Horford doing his thing. They could come up again. This is going to be a 7-game series. There's no way this isn't a 7-game series. I think they're just going to fight tooth and nail, and whichever one gets that last shot in Game 7 is the one that wins this thing, I think.
Why is there always a thing we have to want teams to be loud when they be playing balling their ass off?
Yeah.
Like teams can ball, and then everybody be like, wait, where they come from? Like they've always been here. You just ain't put eyes on them like that.
The Spurs, quietest 5 title team I've ever seen.
Ever.
Yeah.
They will consistently put down titles, and all of a sudden everybody like, wait, the San Antonio Spurs.
Which is why their journey back to irrelevance this year, not making the playoffs and going to the lotto, is very exciting. Just as quietly as they reign, they quietly sit back in the
Before we continue with the show, I'd like to address Mr. Winston A. Marshall today.
Oh,
it's for like the 3rd time today, sir. Sir, I'd like to give you your flowers right now. For your petty, because your petty has been beautiful today, sir.
Yep.
It's been wonderful. I just want to give you your flowers for this, man. This petty has been chef's kiss beautiful.
hey, just like you give me my flowers, you got to give them petty flowers while you can, bro. You got to hand them out.
Yeah. I apologize. Al Horford is not on the Celtics anymore. He's over on the Sixers, I think. So I apologize, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, IMAX. Yes, I get it. It happens sometimes. Calm it down in the chat.
Hey, man, it'd be 9. Any one of us get something wrong, it'd be 9 people back to back. Like, how? You're like, I'm sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. I have a brain fart. Jesus.
I appreciate it. Krishna Lante says, breaking news: the refs just called a travel on a James Harden step back. Guess that gather step came way too late after the dribble this time. A little shot there at poor James Harden there. I'm looking forward to their game. Right now it's happening. Actually, they're up right now 10 on the it's only 9. It's 93-92 at the end of the 3rd between the Rockets and the Thunder. My Lord. If Chris Paul leads this Thunder team to an upset over the Rockets and Russell
so happy. Also, you want to talk about petty? Hold on.
Right.
Actually, never mind. I'm not going to say it because I'm realizing that like I don't need to put bad juju in the world. I'm just there's one thing in particular that I don't need to, but like fuck, bro. I'm just you're talking about. Did you already say that the score for the game right now?
It's 93-92. Yeah, it's tight. End of the 3rd quarter.
End of the 3rd.
Yeah. And Westbrook is not playing apparently. Wow. Okay.
I done paid all this money. I done paid all this money. I'm sitting home, and can you imagine if the Rockets lose again?
That's it. I mean, and Morey is probably gone because of that, that comment you already made. They've been sitting on that fire button like this all season. That China comment he made, they've been waiting to fire his ass. So if it goes down, if they go down in flames now, he's done. And that experiment, just like the process, that Daryl Morey experiment is over, man. Yeah, you can't write a drop step and a lot of fouls to a championship. It just doesn't happen. Yeah, Westbrook has been out the whole series rather. That's true. So we'll see. I mean, but Harden was able to take them pretty far the last couple of years. So you can't just blame that all on what's his face.
I mean, I get it, but it's the same thing we said. Like again with Miami, when LeBron and whatever, they hadn't finally won the chip. When you see certain teams together and all this stuff put together, if it doesn't equal a chip, if you don't get Larry O'Brien at the end of the day, it don't matter. It's a failed experiment.
You're right about that. Hill Nellums donated. He said, Luka with KP.
Las Vegas.
With KP, Burke, Courtney Lee, and Hardaway Jr. being former Knicks, I'm rooting for the Mavs in the bubble. The closest a Knick fan can get to playoff basketball, Nets don't count. They have been incredibly entertaining. Happy B-Day, Jay. That's from Hill Nellums.
Hey,
thank you, but my brain is processing Luka, Las Vegas. Like I hate it.
Hey man, I just want to give you something. That's all.
I respect it. That's the way I cheered for those Pistons when they beat the Lakers. There was like 5 former Bullets /Wizards on that team that I was like, well, essentially it's the closest we'll get to a title. So I'll just cheer for them through there.
Hey, we was calling them the Chicago Timberwolves for a very long time.
That's right.
Where everybody was going to Minnesota, bro. We was like, yo, go for the Chicago Timberwolves. Everybody was like, we like, no, look at the goddamn team.
John Doe donated. He said, "Hey, John and Jay, what did you think of Cody losing the title? If you saw it, I did not expect it, but I thought it worked with Cody every week getting broken down." Jay,
I'm happy. It's good. I'm glad they used somebody that that's actual a mainstay on the roster.
Yeah,
but it lets you know also that experiment is over. That TNT Championships, we can't keep bringing in all this talent. It ain't working. But it's like, I just want to see. Look, AEW just recently signed a Roach. I don't know if you saw. There was a Roach on the ramp at Daly's place. It's Florida and it's open, of course. But like the camera caught a Roach, just I need my TV time. And left. I'm happy for it, man. I'm happy for it again. They're finally coming on a year and they pushed through. This had to have been the hardest year ever for a wrestling company because it's your inaugural year and you get hit with a pandemic right in the midst of your stride. And so AEW is still going forward. We'll see what happens. Yeah,
and they're bringing people in up to what? They're going to have like 2,000 people in the stadium for for something coming up soon.
It's Florida. There are two states that you got to realize. Fat ass is cooking. That was his microwave. Thickums over there getting his lunch. There are two states that will keep people no matter what. Florida and Texas. Florida because DeSantis is the dumbest person walking God's green earth. And Texas because they're just like, God's gonna cure the virus. And I'm a Christian, and I'm like, God didn't make stupid either. Like God gave you free will.
God gave you science.
Gave you science. Like, man,
very true. Very true. And I liked it. I didn't watch it. And I will watch it though for sure. And I'm gonna watch SummerSlam at some point.
I've been watching all the Thundercats though. That's why I heard it's good.
I heard it's good. Is it good?
Thundercats is great, man. 85 Thundercats.
You're watching Thundercats? Yeah, of course.
I've been binging the Thundercats. Like, damn, I did remember that. Like, yo, Lion-O was out here trying to be a thug, but he was too nice. Like,
we made the show so relaxed. Winston thinks he's hanging out with us on a park bench having lunch. What is wrong with you, man? All right, let me get to the next one. Hey, this is from Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown says, have any of you seen it?
Look. I apologize, but look, I started a very rigorous ass fucking Whole30 diet. I have a choice. I gotta stay on schedule, Rocha. I apologize, sir.
All right, fair enough.
Bless you.
Connor Pearson War says, what do you call the Snyder Cut trailer mixed with Doncic? Hallelujah. All right, I like that. I like Hallelujah. I'm down with it. Let's one last one before we move on. Have any of you seen the compilation of players getting game-winning shots on PG? Dude was lucky he wasn't on Luka last night. That compilation was already long enough, bruh.
Because hasn't Dame done it to him? And
God, I didn't even think about that. There's a video of how many game-winning shots have been on Paul George. Oh my God! Wow, that's a shame. That is a shame. All right. Let's see here. What we got next? Oh, yeah, let's jump into some Lakers talk, man. I mean, LeBron James doing his thing here. He just he passed Tim Duncan for number 2 in playoff wins after their recent victory, 116-108 victory on the Portland Trailblazers. They are up 2-1. They play tonight. Tonight, Anthony Davis had 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists to help in the effort. James, 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists of his own. They were pretty ecstatic over there in the Lakers. A lot of people were thinking the Blazers had their number, maybe starting out with that victory, but it may be that the Lakers just needed to see what the Blazers were going to do to them, and now they've adjusted, and they're marching forward. And, if they take the game tonight, it's pretty much over for the Blazers. And
if they do, but let's talk about a couple things right
now.
Sure. First of all, the Lakers had, a total of 43 fucking free throws, and they barely hit 28. Anthony Davis was 50% from the line. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Same thing with Danny Green and only shot 4. Pope 3 for 8.
Yeah.
That's how you lose games. And I say this in the sense that the Trailblazers are super hungry. I understand that you have Anthony Davis and James. I know that you have Davis and James to like go on surges, but you want to talk about the fastest way to get upset is to lose because of fundamentals, man. Yeah. Like I'm the 1 year in high school that I played basketball, because honestly, I was just taller than everybody. So I was third string. Coach put me in to get boards and shoot free throws, because they see a big boy, they go, "Oh, he can't shoot no free throws." And I shot like 95% career. That's how I got points. I get points no other way. I'm not running the floor like everybody. Coach will put me in to go get me the ball, and he pull me back out and let somebody else fucking finish the game. I knew my role, and I accept it.
Yeah.
The one thing that he used to drill in us, I tell this story about how one game we lost by like a bucket, like 2 or 3 points, but we shot 25% from the line during the game. Coach told our parents, "You'll see your kids when you see your kids." He put all 22 of us on the line, and the drill was, "All right, Bobby, you up." Bobby had to hit 2 free throws back to back. If he missed one, we ran a suicide. If he missed both, we ran 2 suicides. Then Bobby was back up. And every single player had to hit 2 consecutive free throws before we were allowed to go home. We were there for 3 fucking hours. So I do not have respect for people that are shooting free throws at that clip.
Yeah.
That is 3 fucking points.
Yeah.
That is 3 points. That is when you go and you get an and one, and then you miss the fucking free throw. That's literally how you can turn games around. So, like, yes, they pulled it out off of the pure superstardom backs of LeBron and Anthony Davis, but if they don't figure that shit out, I'm trying to tell you, that's going to have a bigger impact than people realize.
Yeah, fair point.
So did you see the comment in the chat from Connor Pearson Ward?
From who?
He says, "Yo, an MLB player today got hit in the nuts with 105 mile an hour line."
That's no good. You can't have kids after that. That's no good. That's why you wear cups.
They wear cups, right?
They're supposed to.
But can you still? That sting is gonna be there.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. With this victory from James, he passed Duncan, who was at 157. The only person ahead of him is Derek Fisher, of all people, with 161 playoff victories. That's kind of mind blowing to me that Derek Fisher has him. And of course, LeBron was hilarious to me. I respect LeBron James. He's one of a kind. I mean, like, honestly, you can argue he's the greatest player. I still think it's Jordan, but you could say he's 2, maybe 3, if you want. But the way he plays off the idea that he's almost the way he Taylor Swifts these accolades sometimes drives me nuts, man. He said of this, honestly, me? You're LeBron, dog. He goes, "It's just always surreal for me when my name is associated with any of the greats." And obviously, you know how great Tim Duncan was in this league with that franchise. Basically lived in the postseason. That was his address. So for me to be linked with a great and the big fundamental, it means a lot. And I get the intention, right? You're trying to convey this certain thing. But, dude, you're a top-tier player, and you want the accolades. When you don't get the accolades, the first thing you do is complain about it, you know? So to be like, humble about – I don't know. I just don't buy it when he's all humble about this kind of shit. Just go, damn right, and move on with your life, man. I mean, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I mean, he's staying kayfabe, bro.
Yeah, he's staying kayfabe, right? Exactly.
Right, Jay? I'm just making sure I use that right.
I hate the fact that some of it irks my soul.
I know it does. I know. I can see it in
my
face.
Soul hearing it. I'm like,
I'm just trying to speak your language.
Kayfabe is a pro wrestling thing. The actual business of pro. It started out as a carnival thing. Kayfabe is code for you don't tell the people don't know the secrets of wrestling. People sitting there saying kayfabe have no fucking clue what it means. I'm sorry.
No, but I know what it means. I literally am I'm playing a fucking joke. Like it's a joke. Yeah. Calm down. I literally said I'm trying to speak your language, you stupid son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch come out again. You see, ass when you got something to eat, they ain't gonna talk shit.
That's fair. Corey Scott Johnson says, just have to say, watch Lovecraft Country, HBO Fire. Haven't seen it yet, but all right, I will. I might wait till all the episodes screen and then I'll watch it. I mean, I just burned through. I'll wait for you in the dark, or I'll wait until dark, and then. What was the other one? The Perry Mason one. That exhausted me on a Sundays, man. So I need a little bit of a break. Robert Barisha says, I predict that Miami-Milwaukee in the second round will be an upset. Yeah, listen, the Heat look good.
And Miami looks bad.
Miami looks dangerous. Jimmy Butler looks confident and cocky, and he's got Iguodala just kind of playing the veteran thing, man. they look good. I loved watching them against the Pacers. Pacers didn't know what to do. Miami just methodically just beat them, man. It was gorgeous. So, and Milwaukee showed some holes against Orlando, and they took care of business, I think, earlier today and swept them out, or beat them rather. But this could be something. Miami could absolutely pull an upset here. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you, because I like this team.
I mean, yes. No, I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were looking at me to add anything.
Go ahead. Anybody. Yeah, chime in.
I completely agree. I mean, Miami looks lethal as fuck. They essentially everybody looking at Miami be like, where the fuck this come from? Is it just because you feel like the state of Florida is just going to drift off the United States, so this is your time to just shine and shit? What is going on right now? So I look, man, they look deadly, and the Bucks look lost.
Yeah.
With you. I know the Bucks advanced. They do not look like the same number one team that before the pandemic kicked in. So
remember, this was the man. If they shut the season down, it's their championship by default. Everybody's like, "Yo, the Bucks," and now it's just because I think that's the problem. I just said it again when it comes to Paul George and said it with LeBron. Will people keep using that excuse, the time off?
Right,
the pandemic, the not having that groove anymore, and trying to finally get it back. I feel like if you had the scrimmage games, you had the preseason per se to get your legs back up under you. So y'all was hooping at home, but whatever.
It's 99-98, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter there between the Rockets and the Thunder. So just monitoring that as we go along. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and your Super Chats. Reading them all here. Robert, and I think that's every one of the ones that have been sent in so far. So, yeah, I mean, the Lakers look good. I like what they're doing. I appreciate what they've got going on, and I wonder if they'll put it all together and just keep marching forward. This was just a challenge for them, and now they just keep going forward and doing something really brutal to the rest of the teams in the league. We shall see for sure. I'm looking forward to watching it. All right, and we talked about we talked about the Raptors, talked about the Jazz, talked about the Celtics, blah blah blah, and Goodell. All right, let's go back to the NFL and talk about the 77 positive tests for coronavirus that apparently returned from the weekend where they were retested again, and they were all negative. So what the fuck is happening here? I need to know. 77 tests that were positive, and then they go away to some other facility and come back negative, and the league's survival depends on them not getting a lot of people testing COVID. Testing positive for COVID. This seems very, very suspicious to me. 11 teams were affected by the mistake. And apparently, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen was among those whose initial test resulted in they're calling them a false positive, and that they tested them at a quote isolated contamination during test preparation site. Apparently all of them are now false positives, and they've been processed by the same bioreference lab in New Jersey that they did the first time around. They also conducted quicker point-of-care tests on Sunday, and all those came back negative. But, this is still kind of suspicious in my mind, so we shall see. We shall see what this goes out. But do you trust the NFL to report accurate numbers on them if they test positive, or do you guys think this is just an anomaly and they'll be more aware of it going forward?
One of two things is happening, and both are bad looks for the NFL. The first is you're covering up your numbers. Mm-hmm. That, in my opinion, is probably a little bit worse. Yeah. The other option is you have an inept lab doing your tests, which is also a fucking problem. So you need to get your fucking lab correct, who you're going to be testing with, or you need to not cook the books. Both are bad looks, man.
Right.
This ain't no fucking game. Like, you're trying to force your league to go through in the middle of a pandemic. You have to be on top of this. There is a couple false positives. Fine. Like, I mean, how many? This includes staff or just players?
Yeah. No, this includes all players.
Just players.
Yeah.
So how many? If you had to guesstimate, how many players are in the league? I don't.
Woo.
Look it up and see.
1,000? At least 2,000.
53 on a team, 32 teams, roughly about 1,700. Call it somewhere between 1,700 and 2,000. So let's see, 77.
Oh yeah, because I was thinking about practice and reserves as well. So
yeah.
Let's be conservative and call it 1,700. That is a 4.5% false positive rate. That's not great, bro.
Right.
That's not great at all. Like that has to be like under 1%. Like if you're trying to honestly do this, because all it takes in that regard, if you're fucking up tests, one person get a whole team's fucking got it. Like that's.
Yeah.
But
very, very possible. Yeah, absolutely. I like these comments that are coming through here. Let's see. NFL, why the fuck you lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
Why the fuck you lying?
Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
IMAX, those retesters had automatic weapons pointed at them while they were retesting.
Positive, right?
What was it, motherfucker? What was it?
Right? It's positive, right? It's
positive, right?
You meant, negative, yeah.
I'm so confused. What do you want me to write down? Dick Smoker says not one single pro athlete that has tested positive for COVID has died. Right. Yeah, exactly. And why don't you read Freddie Freeman's experience going through COVID as one of the top athletes on the Atlanta Braves and then tell me again how it's totally cool, man. It's totally fine that they might get exposed to this. Get the fuck out of here.
Literally, all it takes is one. One professional athlete dies, game over.
Yep.
That's what I
all sports stop.
Every sport shuts down.
And why does it have to take one? That's because fans like you are like, well, nobody else died. And that's the kind of ignorant talk.
Yeah. As a society, that's what we do, bro. Let's be 1,000% real, because guess what? We didn't take this seriously until Rudy Gobert got it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, shut the country down, shut it down. Tom Hanks, shut it down. Like,
we didn't even shut it down with Tom Hanks. We shut it down when Rudy Gobert got it. When they was like, because it was giggly. It was like Rudy Gobert got the coronavirus and his teammates too.
Yeah. And Rudy out of here touching everything, trying to be funny. And it's like,
he was like, everybody got it. And it was like, shut this shit down.
So it's just crazy to me overall. Tishka says it's suspicious on both sides, the positives and the negatives. There have been plenty of lab issues. That's for sure.
I get it. I'm just saying when if this is your aim, if you're like just like everything else. So like let's say that this is a tightrope walker with no net underneath, right?
Yeah.
Every step, every misstep fucking matters.
Yeah.
This isn't we're not running like you have to step correct every fucking time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're gonna do this, like maybe before you decided we're gonna try and push forward with the season, but you can't now that you made this decision. What happened? What are you laughing about?
I'm listening to you and read something because I was following up on things just to make sure nothing has come up.
Uh-huh.
And I just read something I could not believe I actually just read.
What?
Oh, this ain't sports, but this is from Newsweek. Okay, just so you know.
Why are you reading Newsweek though?
I mean, because I'm scrolling things. I'm scrolling through sports.
They had that Kamala Harris birther bullshit. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
No, Richard Spencer backs Joe Biden, says the MAGA alt-right movement is over.
Wow, Richard Spencer.
Spencer?
You know, if you can't keep Spencer, you know it's
you
over.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. No wonder she ran back to her family. I'm leaving to go to my family and hang out with my family. Paige Chowdhury says, hey guys, what do the Spurs need to do to win? My favorite three men, much love. Jay is so handsome.
Oh,
Jay is so handsome.
Thank you so much. They need to just
let's this is a great question you asked, Paige, but let's tie it into something else. I'm reading reports over the last 3 or 4 hours that the Nets are going to try to make a hard push to sign Greg Popovich away from the Spurs because there are so many former Spurs players and staff on the Nets that I think GM Sean Marks is going to make a hard pitch to the Spurs to bring him over to coach Kyrie and Durant next year and possibly obviously try to win a title with them. Whereas you've got rebuilding stuff going on with the Spurs, they think this is the right time to go and entice him to go for Brooklyn over there to the Nets. The thing is, the Nets don't have first-round draft picks, so it would have to be a lot of lower-round draft picks that could make this deal happen, like Doc Rivers with the Celtics. You know, they had like trade picks and stuff. So I wonder if this is – I feel like this feels like it could happen. because that's a great place for him to go. And he certainly doesn't want to coach rebuilding guys for the next 3-4 years. So why not do it? Do you think it's possible?
I think possible. I don't know, but I think it's a good move if they can do it. Because think about it, next year you get back Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Next year,
and they got to 7th this year without any of them. Yeah,
without any of them.
I just don't see Greg Popovich, who has cultivated this entire culture down in San Antonio. I hate on the Spurs in San Antonio all day because hate is what is it? Jealousy is love and hate at the same time. It comes from a place of jealousy. They got 5 titles in like the prime of one of my favorite Mavs of all time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what it is. I don't see that. They gotta really pitch the fuck out of him, because I would make the argument Doc Rivers left because what was left in Boston? Boston was imploding at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's the same thing you can say now about San Antonio, but at the same time, it's like people are saying in the chat, and I agree, he's put so much into it. He may want to just retire a Spur and call it a day.
Yeah, that's possible. Absolutely possible. And we'll see. I mean, I just find this fascinating to even consider, but it'd be a good place for him to go. Good way to like extend your career for a little. Oh, Jesus.
Y'all haters. No, y'all haters.
I'm not hating.
Y'all laughing, man. Mark, the Warriors were only the Warriors because of Mark Jackson's
Yes,
mouth.
indeed.
I will give Kerr his credit for pushing it to the next level, but the Warriors were already doing a lot of what they were doing when Mark Jackson was fucking coaching.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you a question, Winston. It's a fair comment you make. But then you can turn around and say, you know what? Del Harris's Lakers were Del Harris's Lakers. Phil Jackson just took them over and took them to the next level. You have to make that argument consistently.
But where I disagree with you on that is because what ended up happening is you brought in Phil Jackson the same time you brought in Kobe and Shaq. You literally had a situation.
No, Kobe and Shaq were with Del before Phil Jackson showed up. The whole reason they got Phil,
but they were not.
Del wasn't getting him to the promised land.
But that's my point, is that like you would make the argument that like they really couldn't get over, they weren't doing what they needed. I'm not saying Mark Jackson didn't necessarily need to go. The Warriors got taken up to another level.
You're right.
I don't think that those are two great comparisons, because at that point, again, you just had the pure superstar talent of Kobe and Shaq, but they were not gelling. It literally took Phil coming and being
Phil had to figure it out.
Y'all shut the fuck up and let's get some rings.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
Like,
put your egos away. Let's get some rings. I want to bring this up from one of our fans who are watching us. Robbie Meeson says, haven't talked about the Mavs. Never mind. We spent 25 minutes on the Mavs. Robbie, haven't watched the full show.
We haven't talked about the Dallas Mavericks at all. Listen, we have not
as a Dallas fan, I said, fuck Dallas, fuck Luka, fuck all that shit.
I don't know exactly.
I renounced my fandom. I said all of that. Yeah.
We didn't talk about that Montrezl Harris and Luka Doncic situation. We didn't talk about nothing about what they can do to the Clippers. Like, we didn't even talk about the bottle flip that Luka did. Like, we didn't talk about
we didn't do that, and I wish we had, because it was amazing.
That's fair.
Coach out here be like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run this play. He's just out here be like,
let me see if I can just stand up.
All I'm saying is, you're gonna get a comedy. You're gonna try and cut a motherfucker. You do need to go back and do your research. Come in with ammunition, not an empty gun. That's all I'm saying.
Robbie, I'm gonna go on your streams, Robbie, and go, doesn't watch my full show. Never doesn't pay attention to what he's watching.
Jesus, you are so hard today, sir.
I know, dude. I'm in one of my places.
Talk about the Washington Bullets.
That's fair. That's fair. Although we did win a title. We did win a title in 1978. The great West Sunset leading us to a title.
I'll never talk about the
Oh man, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Anyway, the NFL and the NFLPA, before we got distracted here, they're going to be working. They still haven't finalized testing protocols, and the season is around the corner. And they're still figuring this out or settling this up. So hopefully they'll do this so that we don't get any more false positives. And I was wrong. There were some staff members that some coaches tested false positive for this as well. So you want to kind of make this thing airtight, so you don't have any of these issues and maybe lose an important critical player because of a false positive test. You don't play him or you quarantine him, and it could cost you a game, that could cost you playoffs or cost you the season. You just never know. So hopefully they'll figure this all out.
Brady has COVID and see what the league does.
Oh,
I just want to hear Tom Brady has got COVID-19. I just want to see how fast the cure comes. Not even a vaccine.
Yeah.
The cure.
Yeah, the cure. Cody would be like this. Fast the fuck out.
Real talk though. DGMC has a nice little burn on you, Rocha. Rocha was around when they were just the Washington gunpowder.
Damn cannons.
Washington muskets.
Cannons to the left of them. Cannons to the right of them.
Cannons in the front of them. Volley and thunder.
For real talk, this super chat I'm sure you're gonna get to with F James. Ooh.
Let's drop it. F James 72. I am loving the Dubs next year. Steph, Clay, Dre, Wiggins, second pick, and a $17 million exemption for more players. They are going to be loaded.
Bro.
Is Draymond locked in?
Yeah, Dre's in.
Okay, I didn't know for sure. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make it.
No, you're fine. I'm pretty sure he signed a contract like a couple years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Because I know we all know Steph and Clay. We know Steph and Clay. They there.
Yeah.
Bro, that is a dangerous
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah. And Wiggins apparently has turned it around, according to Steve Kerr, playing for them this year. He's like really understood what his role is on the Warriors. I think this could have been the greatest 1-2 season step back that they've ever had to
get some rest.
Yeah.
They need rest.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with getting some rest because LeBron's ass, you know what he does? When he realizes the team is tired, he leaves and goes to another one so that it's all fresh motherfuckers to play with. You know what I'm saying? That's why he keeps ending up in the finals because he keeps waiting for some fresh motherfuckers to carry.
What you're saying, here's a movie reference for horror movies. What you're saying is that LeBron James is Horace Pinker. And when he uses up the energy in the body, he goes to another body, and the body is another team.
That's
when
true.
he uses up the life force of that team, he goes to another team. And when he uses up the life force of that team, he goes to another. Because literally, that's what Big Red's done. Like,
he's a basketball vampire. He absolutely sucks the blood and lifeblood.
He sucks the blood. And first of all, don't you wish that evil upon me, Ricky Bobby? We do not want LeBron James in Dallas. If you had said this to me maybe back in like 2010 during prime LeBron when we all were trying to shoot for him, fine. And maybe even still prime LeBron when he went back to Cleveland. But we do not want LeBron James coming in and fucking up our salary cap and draining the life out of Luka just so we can leave. That's a hard pass.
That's true. Luka, throw me the ball.
Throw me the ball and watch what I do with it.
1-on-5. 1-on-5. and then a brick. All right. Trent Fuller says that's what happens when you trust a lab in Jersey to do something. Whoa! Shots in Jersey. Shots in Jersey. Jesus Christ. Oh, hilarious. Tushka Production says, did Mark Jackson get a ring? The Chiefs are looking at giving some previous players and coaches that helped build the team a ring. Who do you think in any sport deserves a ring as credit for building a championship team after they left? Number one, Tony Dungy. He absolutely deserves that ring from John Gruden for those Buccaneers.
Yeah. Well, down
in Tampa Bay, man, he built that team.
Yeah.
Gruden came in the next year and won that ring. Also, Barry Switzer needs to give his ring to Jimmy Johnson for that Super Bowl victory he got. That's for damn sure.
I agree with that too.
Right? Yeah. I don't know if there's anyone else. Is there anyone else that you can think of that deserves the ring?
Team. Tex Winter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Tex Winter. Phil Jackson took over.
Okay. Somebody said Dwayne Casey. I don't know Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey for what? I don't remember who was coaching Dwayne Casey. Someone came to mind, and I love. Garcia Parra, Nomar, because they traded Nomar, which got the Red Sox to free up space for other players, and those players led them to a title literally the next year. So I would say Nomar absolutely deserves it for sure. Tushka says, I hung out with Switzer and watched the Cowboys game at the Choctaw Casino. He's old, nice, but old. All right.
Yeah, that's fair. Right.
He's old man.
I've seen some things.
Dwayne Casey in Detroit. So Dwayne Casey had put that Detroit team together before Larry Brown showed up. All right, Ferris.
You see Super Dan further up talking about LeBron. He left D Wade and his no knee having ass to go win one with Kyrie. Then he left Love to come to LA with AD.
Yeah.
Like, he literally he is body hopping, bro.
He's body hopping. I told y'all, he's like Horace Pinker. Yeah. LeBron James is the Horace Pinker of the NBA.
Who's the kid in the Umbrella Academy? The Asian kid that can jump into bodies. That's what LeBron is. He's jumping into bodies.
Or Jericho in like the DC universe.
Yeah, Jared Deathstroke's son.
Oh yeah,
Slade Wilson's son, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Dwayne Casey was the Raptors coach before Nick Nurse. He was fired after winning Coach of the Year. That's right.
I remember that.
That's because LeBron destroyed him in the playoffs. Destroyed that Raptors team. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh no, John, I missed the question. It was Rick Carlisle in Detroit. All right, Rick Carlisle in Detroit. Respect.
There you go. And then he turned around and got his ring in Dallas.
He did.
Shout out to Jim Carrey.
Okay, Thunder's up 103-102 with 4 minutes left. Holy crap, the Thunder might do. No, it's 109-108.
109-108 with 53 seconds. Oh my Jesus! Oh my Jesus!
You know what? I'm gonna start watching this game while you fellas talk.
They're doing this without what's his face. Man, that is shocking. All right, what do we got left? All right, let's just wrap up the show here, man. We got a little bit of time to wrap up here for a few minutes, and we'll kill it.
You want to talk about this game when it's over? It's only 24 seconds.
Oh yeah, all right. Yeah. You guys
got nothing else to talk about. What else can we talk about?
Is it done?
We talked about this. Questions raised as students leave the campus for the 2020 football season.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this now? All these campuses are not bringing kids back, or they're bringing kids back at very, very, very low numbers. But yet they're the same campuses who are bringing all the college football players back to play their season. And in essence, they're creating a mini bubble in each of these universities for these players, and not having the other the rest of the student body around them kind of creates the possibility that they won't get this COVID situation. They won't have these problems. But is this a university or is this a football team? This is to me where I have issues with this situation, because you going forward with your season doesn't mean shit to me if these kids can also go to school. Oh, there it is.
It's over 119-107. Wow. God damn.
Wow.
Did you hear what Notre Dame did? They tried to open the school, and then all of a sudden the students got the virus because they're partying. Yeah, it's weird because it's literally telling everybody. This goes back to the whole NCAA pay these kids. Yep. That's literally what it goes back to at this point, whether people want to admit it or not. Okay, I don't need to watch the rest of this because clearly I got a delay in the game. And y'all,
you do, yeah.
But it's good. It goes back to that pay these kids, because you're trying to make sure you get the kids to play, but the campus is closed. Yeah, you're really telling us you don't value them as students. You value them as a commodity for this game. So pay them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And 3 teams, Notre Dame, North Carolina, and NC State, sent students home or paused in-person classes because of COVID-19 outbreaks. And the ACC, I think, is one of these conferences that wants to keep having a season this year and playing. UCLA drastically reduced on-campus housing due to the virus. 86 students were suspended at 5 schools for improper gatherings. It's college. What did you expect was going to happen? Then there's 300 faculty members at Georgia of all places.
What you mean of all places? It's Georgia.
I'm just saying they're the ones that have called in-person classes unwise. I thought they'd want to go along with having all this kind of stuff. So this is madness to me, because, they're saying students aren't safe on campus, but players are. Football players are. I don't understand the logic here overall. What do you guys think?
It's exactly what's been said a million times. Like you said, the talking point is, oh yeah, no, they're student athletes. They get scholarships. That's what this is. You don't give a shit about them being students, and you've proven that millions of times over.
Right.
Like you have scandals like what happened at UNC. I want to say it's probably almost a full decade ago, where you saw their papers where some of these football players were writing at a 3rd grade level.
Yeah.
They were 19, 20, 21 years old, which is insane. There is so much kind of going that they're just proving the point that they don't actually give a fuck. They care about their money.
Yeah.
They just care about their money. That's it.
These lying athletic directors at Notre Dame, athletic director Jack Swarbrick said, "I keep trying to make the point that this is not an athletic story. It is about whether schools can successfully return to residential education." 4 months ago, he told Vice President Mike Pence that there would be no football without students on campus. He said, "It's just hard to figure out how you can say we believe the campus isn't safe for our student body, and we're going to bring one group of students back, just them." And now they're doing that, Notre Dame, bringing back just the football players and not anybody to have in-person classes. It's amazing how when the money's rolling around, that's when the morals and the principles, and it doesn't matter a goddamn bit, not a bit.
Again, the only country that took. If we'd have done this right from the beginning, this would not be a discussion.
Yeah. Yep.
If we'd have just all hunkered down from March to mid-May, June, we'd have been good. The worst thing that happened, because we're all this is centered around COVID-19. Had COVID-19 happened in the fall or winter, we'd have been perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Real quick. Someone pointed out that it was a mistake. That last score was game 3. Game 4 still going. There's 15 seconds. Thunder
okay.
Okay, so I wasn't done. Yeah.
My bad.
There you go.
I didn't feel bad. I was sitting there.
My bad, bitch. But
the Conference USA increased their testing protocols to try to get through the fall, but they also canceled all fall sports except football. So what is, this is so blatant what's actually happening here and what they're really all about. University of Alabama, Nick Saban said there's no place safer for these Alabama football players than the university. It's safer than their own homes is to be at the University of Alabama. Their rates among students have grown significantly, and in-person student events have been paused for 14 days. I don't know what more evidence you need here.
Somebody to die.
Or
That's
a
all
bunch of people, yeah.
Somebody has, again, it's unfortunate to say it this way. It's unfortunate to have to go to this level, to this extreme, but somebody has to die. That's because you can catch it. And then again, Freddie Freeman, he got sick, but he's alive because that's the thought process behind it. He's alive. Somebody has to unfortunately die. If no one dies, we'll just look at this like, well, they got it and moved on. So what, they got some, we don't even talk about the people who have the longstanding the residual effects from it. We don't talk about that. We're not going to. Somebody, unfortunately, has to die of this.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the problem, is that people are so focused on the death tolls of COVID. If it got pushed more about the repercussions of having it, that for a lot of people would be enough.
Right.
I think but that's not what leads. That's not what's being pushed.
Right.
And so that ends up being the problem. Instead, because I think the bigger thing that a lot of people aren't thinking about with these kids, they're kids.
Yep.
If somebody gets it and their lung goes out, and now they have to be like constant respirator or whatever the fuck going forward, your career is just as dead as if you actually died. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could be just as damaging. Let alone your quality of life in general. You're now going to have to struggle with this.
Yeah.
So it's just it is what it is.
And 115, 111.78 seconds left.
Oh, okay. And the AP top 25 in a move that seems a bit shameless, published their top 25 poll. Like, college football's going on with all the conferences, no problem. It's ridiculous to even post this poll. I don't know what they're going to get out of it. I really think this season, and I love college football. To not have it this season, I think is okay, because you're keeping these kids out of harm's way. To have it with, I don't know, 76, there's 76 teams out of the 300 or 280 something teams. To me, it's a useless season. And telling me that person is a champion of that season is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It means nothing, absolutely nothing. And these teams that are pushing to spring, what does that mean? Who wins that title in spring? I don't get it. It just makes no fucking sense. It's dumb.
Yep.
Because the virus is supposed to magically disappear after the election. That's the thing.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, that's right. That's what somebody said, right? It's magically going to disappear after it's being used against me. Everything's about me. Anyway, all right. So it looks like they won 117, 111. 14. Is it done?
It's done. That means, Jesus. That means they got the ball. Somebody hit a long bomb, like half court, because it was 117, 111 with 1.3. Somebody hit a full court fucking 3-pointer at the end. I mean, that's cool. I guess that's a cool way to go out and defeat.
Yeah. This is a good. Let me see if there's any more stream. I got one more here from Tushka. Did Mark? Oh no, we already read that one. So let me jump into this other one here from Winston. Given the conditions that led, this is from Adit Mahmood. Given the conditions that led to Earl Thomas getting released by the Ravens, would you want the Cowboys to sign him? Thomas often missed or was late to meetings for the last year.
I mean, here's the thing. The Cowboys have done a pretty good job in the past taking troubled players and putting them under essentially constant supervision to produce. If you stop producing, then we no longer put those resources. It's frustrating. I don't necessarily like that is the identity that we've gotten as a team, but if they can genuinely get Earl Thomas to shape up and play, I mean, this is a situation where we're not talking about someone that is like beating his wife or kids or murdered anybody. I'm not like, you shouldn't be out here doing orgies with your brother cheating on your wives, but you know, like that's more of a between you and your wife. That's not like, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything criminal. You're doing something immoral, but you're not doing anything criminal.
Right.
So that's hard. That's hard to say. I could be fine, honestly, either way. I'm pretty impressed with what we've done with a lot of the stuff on defense. What I'm more concerned about is who we replace on that D line, losing my brain just went out. We just cut
Gerald McCoy.
Thank you. Cutting McCoy because of that leg injury. I'm more concerned about that. But I mean, shit, if you can go get Earl Thomas for cheap and you can keep him under control, I mean, fuck it.
Why not? Why not? It's certainly possible. McCarthy could use him. That's for damn sure. All right, we're going to wrap up with this last conversation. I think it has to be, it's a 3-year. Was it the passing of Kobe Bryant? Was it his birthday or the anniversary?
It's both his birthday and it was his 2 numbers in LA. And I don't know if it's LA entirely, but I believe it is 8/24 from now on is officially Kobe Day. Which is pretty crazy. And
so it would have been his 42nd birthday in this. And so this is yesterday, this past Sunday. And they all met. They all wore 8/24 on their jerseys, the Lakers and the Blazers, in honor. I think Diana Taurasi wore Kobe Bryant stuff when she was playing in her WNBA game yesterday as well. So a lot of people showing a lot of respect and love. We'll take a moment. Like, what do you guys now with the retrospect of all this time since his passing? Like, what are your feelings about Kobe now? Have you reassessed anything? Do you look at him differently? Has there been is the game missing him? Like, what are you guys' thoughts about this?
I mean, he's already gone from the game. I just think the coaching level of what he might have been if the opportunity was present, I think that's what's missing the most.
Yeah.
Okay. They also, I forgot about that. They changed one of the streets here in LA. I want to say maybe part of Figueroa to Kobe Boulevard.
The part by the Staples?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But yes, my bad. His birthday was yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today is considered like Kobe Bryant or Black Mamba Day and all that stuff. I mean, he's been one of the most impactful people in sports ever. Because of how this year has played out, it feels like he died a decade ago.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
That was the first major piece of news to kind of come out of the world was Kobe's passing at the end of January. That was around when we started hearing about COVID, but we didn't really know what was going on yet.
Australia was on fire at the time.
The first real major piece of news was Kobe going, and then it was like, but that's crazy to think that was January. You know what I'm saying? Like, look where we are now. It's absolutely wild, man. And I like the more I think about it, it's crazy to think that was the linchpin before the world changed.
Yeah.
The world very much changed after that. So. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. LeBron, who was part of, coming to the Lakers and connecting with Kobe, says a day doesn't go by where I don't think about him. A day doesn't go by where our organization does not remember him and think about not only Kobe, but Gigi and Vanessa and the girls. We still were 24-8 and the number 2 with pride. I remember how great they were. And the game tonight, I think, is where they'll be wearing the 8/24 in honor of Kobe, both teams. Or Black Mamba or something like that to honor him as well. So, I agree with you. It seems like a lifetime ago, man. And he was one of the greats. Yeah, I mean, I'll always say, like, well, yeah, I didn't always like his style of play. I thought it was a ball hog sometimes, but he won titles. He's a champion, and you can't deny that. You can't deny what he was able to do with these teams, with Shaq, and then separately with Lamar Odom and Gasol, balling it up to get those titles with those teams. So you got to give love to Kobe, you got to give respect to Kobe and what he was. And I understand, there was the accusations and all that. You can't talk about it without it. But it seemed that was resolved to a degree. And then afterwards, he has he had been turning his life around, becoming almost a statesman, not only of the game, but of life. He was probably set to become one of these speakers on the circuits. He had already won an Oscar for a short film. So there was so much more to come from this guy. And unfortunately, passing away like that, I think Winston, you might be right. It was like a harbinger of what was to come in 2020.
Let's not forget Gigi, man. I mean, she was the kind of promise that like she was going to make. I honestly believe that, if Gigi was still with us, she would have made it to the WNBA. And I believe that it would have that she may have been that star.
Yeah.
That pushes it into the sphere that it deserves to be in.
Yeah.
I just watching her play and having her dad training her like that and at her back, I feel like she would have been the Michael Jordan of the WNBA to like take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So it's just
it's certainly possible. Jay, any thoughts?
I mean, it's very, like you said, I think we both said enough. You both said enough, excuse me. Everything. It's when you think about it, it's for me as a father to know how they were found, and to reminisce on that and to hear about it. And then to watch what their relationship in itself, Kobe and Gigi's relationship, is something that stands out for me recently because I didn't know. I knew you would always see Gigi there. You would always see Gigi first, but then to know how tight they were, like Winston was saying, him being her mentor for basketball, teaching her the game, things like that, and to see what Kobe had been doing, how he had changed his life. He had literally been more open than anybody ever thought he was. He was mentoring so many players. Yeah. He was teaching them the game, not just on the court, but off the court. Yeah. So to hear that, it really, very, very just heartbreaking. And again, like Winston said, it was the linchpin for everything, dude. Yeah. It was just the end of January, February. Yeah. Yo, that shit felt like when you hear Mamba Day, you was thinking, oh, damn, it's been a year. No, it's been 7 months.
It's
the longest fucking year we've ever been a part of. Yeah. Ever. True. And I know you've been around since the start of time, bro. I'm sure this year has been long for you too, man.
If anyone can speak about how long this year is knowledgeably, it's certainly me.
I take it back without trying to drudge anything up. I just remember what happened at the start of the year for you and how you built everything up, bro. Like shit.
Yeah. But the things happen and you have to climb back up, and that's.
Shit! I do.
My year.
Man, that was this year. Y'all went through that. We all went through that. Damn.
Right, I know, bro.
Right after it was literally the story.
Yeah, literally the day. I mean, I remember posting on Instagram, "Hey, looking forward to another great year full of adventures and surprises and twists and turns. Have a great new year. I'm ready."
Did this. You son of a bitch.
You said I show up at work and I'm like, "You're let go,
guys.
You're let go. You and Riley are gone. Adam Smith is gone. A bunch of people are gone, and you don't get a goodbye party. You don't get a goodbye. No,
you don't get a goodbye show. You just
nothing. No, what you get is your former head of the company crying on a 2-hour town hall. That's what you get. But this is about Kobe, and Kobe. There's a lot to miss with Kobe, and I hope. It's an example. It's an example that if you live long enough and you work hard and you are open to learn and change and grow, success is always possible. Achievement is always possible. Changing the narrative of how people view you and your legacy is always possible. So if nothing else comes from that, there should be a lesson there for a lot of people there. And of course, us talking about Kobe, us talking about his daughter Gigi, does not mean the other people that died on that in that helicopter crash don't also deserve our thoughts and remembrances as well. But right. Kobe was, the famous one there, and you have to talk about it. So, all right, I think that's it. Right, Rocha's responsible for 2020 confirmed. Breaking news. Wouldn't you know it'd be my lot in life to have that? All right, let's wrap up, gentlemen. Please tell them where they can find you and everything you guys got going on, please.
Yeah, you can see me right there at the Swaggy Blur, THESWAGGYBLARD. That's for everything. That's for the Instagram, the Twitter, the YouTube, the Patreon, the Twitch channel, all the same. I keep it across the board. Obviously, I'm here every Monday with John and Jay. Tomorrow, our show, Blurs in the Hood. It is Jay's 40th birthday, man.
Oh,
So,
come on, fam.
You know we about to what?
Sold you out.
I didn't need people knowing in the world how old I was.
Sold you out.
I was going to tell people I was 24.
No one's going to believe that, first of all.
I don't believe he's 40. I don't believe he's 40.
Second of all, don't you have a child that's about to graduate? What
college?
At 24, how the fuck you going to have a child that's about to graduate?
Hey, man. Super sperm.
What? at 5, nigga? At 5?
Hey, nigga, this DNA was about to go get it. Get it.
Point is, the show tomorrow is going to be absolutely ridiculous as we celebrate this man as he is rung in 4 decades like a boss. Like it is going to be absolutely dope. So please come and kick it with us. Other than that, man, I mean, you see me on SEN. I'm not Swag isn't doing anything this week because it's Bateman and Guy. More importantly, Jericho and Smith, which is going to be. So if you're a movie trivia fan, I don't even think it's a pay-for pay-per-view. I think anybody can watch.
It's free.
Make sure your ass watches that shit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, what? I'll be on SEN on Wednesday again, and there is some cool stuff coming in the pipeline that just stay glued to Twitter. If you haven't seen the Twitter war going on between Shannon and Mike and Chandru right now, it's been hilarious. I've been throwing little peppers, little heat in there, but I mainly let them just do their thing. It's been fun.
Right.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. Jay, what do you got?
Twitter, Instagram, down below. Mr. J Watson, my Patreon, the same thing. My Supervillain Squad is my Patreon, but for the $25 and up tier, we have the one-on-one with the Supervillain where we literally sit down and whatever they want to talk about, the members of the tier, for over an hour. I have one that I just put out last week that is about almost 2 hours. We just talking about whatever they want to talk about. So do you want to join, do that. Blurs in the Hood tomorrow, like Winston said. It's my birthday, my actual birthday, August 25th. So we're going to celebrate. Our special guest is my homegirl, my good friend, the Blur girl, Karen Mahorn. She will be with us. I'm trying to see if I can get a few more people to come through, whatever. Yeah, I don't have anything else to do. Here's why. Every superhero show pretty much is gone. I've been trying to focus on getting a lot of stuff together with different things I'm doing and auditions and self-tapes. I got to actually finish an audition, a voiceover audition that I forgot to do over the weekend because my agent emailed me and she was like, so you're not going to send this in? I was like, my bad, because I passed out. I don't sleep. But if you want to send birthday love, you can Cash App and Venmo me right down there.
There you go.
I'm great, honestly, and I don't just say it's to promote it, but people have literally been sending me stuff saying thank you for all I've done. And to know that I've affected you all in such a positive way and have touched your lives in some manner, and you just wanted to show the love back, it means so much to me. Seriously, thank you, John, for allowing me on here every Monday or whenever we do it, Wednesday times. Winston, you don't love me no more because you don't even come over here no more. And like he don't want to see me no more. He used to come hang with me. I'm by myself. See, Winston keep acting like you'll be okay. He got a family. He got friends. He be all out people. I just be here watching Hulu. I'm sad, y'all. God damn it, I'm sad.
You don't attack Rocha for this. You don't call Rocha and be like, Rocha, why ain't you ever come see me?
Because Rocha's woman ain't letting him leave the house.
I thought you were friends with Roxy. I saw you talking to Roxy on Gucci show. You didn't call Roxy and say, Roxy, why don't we hang out? Roxy, like, I don't understand. Why all this animosity towards me?
Because us brothers got to stick together.
You acting like a 24-year-old. I'll tell you that much. You acting 24, and I folded, nigga.
Please, we don't need black on black crime. Please stop.
Not on your show. Not on your show.
Not a thing. You know better. I'm taking away your Black Lantern card for that bullshit.
Stop the violence. You know we got to stop violence. One last Streamlab from Tushka said, I know we are reflecting on the year and we all missed the hell out of Kobe and Gigi. There is one good thing we can keep from 2020. The Chiefs are still champs, baby. All right, there you go.
Oh, wow.
This is very true.
Wow. Well, once the season gets canceled, you guys can be champs for next year.
Right, exactly.
I just want Roger Goodell to catch it to see what they do. And Roger Goodell was tested positive for COVID.
They would never tell us. They would never tell us. Honestly, they would make some shit up and be like, he has cancer. And it's like, what? Right. Like, I knock on wood. I don't wish that on anybody, but they would make some shit
you're right.
up.
You got a point.
Oh, yeah.
They would make some shit up, bro.
I think Trump's had it 7 times. They've lied to us about it every time. All right, you can follow me. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And please subscribe to the channel down below. Give some love to the Outlaw Nation. Let's get to that 15,000 subscribers mark and march towards 20,000. You know, we do it the show. We do it I don't know. What do you got? We like the little engine they could, man. So come give us some love in that way. And also remember to leave a comment if you're watching us afterwards, after we recorded it live. Leave a comment down there. All the comments, all the likes, they elevate the show and the channel in the YouTube algorithm. They might put us on the side there as a suggested video to view for people, and maybe they'll come over and become fans of Game Time as well. All right, for Winston Marshall, Jay Washington, I am John Rocha. This is Game Time. You guys take care of yourselves. Have a great Tuesday. Do positive things for your world, and we'll see you next Monday here for another live episode of Game Time. And wear your damn mask.